have a dream.
Hello everybody, welcome back. This is the second show of the News Cipher from newscipher.com on YouTube too. And I am Robert, and first of all I'd like to shoot out a very big apology for the sound quality of yesterday's video. You know, I try my very best to support Linux, and I'm having a challenging time with my sound. I'm using a wireless G930 Logitech headset and with Ubuntu 16.04 and I thought that I had it going, but I seem to have a unique bug in the noise cancellation software. I'm trying to work on it. It's quite unfortunate, really. That we have something so silly that would happen, and you know, I could run everything through Audacity and everything, but we're gonna continue to tweak it, and if it doesn't work, I might reboot into Windows one day, and hopefully that won't be tomorrow. I hope that won't be any day this week. You know, my children always ask me which day of the week is one day. But here we are, today's stories from Sunday, October 9th, in my part of the world, coming at you from China, right? And it's all my Chinese viewers out there, all the expats and stuff. Yes, there will be some Chinese news coming very soon. Let's take us baby steps here with the sound, and let's see what we have in the news today. And I hope that you can hear me clearly, because there's nothing worse than doing this for an hour and a half and then finding out, oh my God, everything I said was for nothing. You know, I did that for 3 videos before I had the bad video with the sound. But today will be great. We'll start with their top stories from Google News. And I'm going to point out right now, a very interesting thing is, for the last 2 days, Google News has not been blocked in China. And traditionally, Google News is always blocked in China, but it was not blocked for the last 2 days. So that's something very curious, and I have a hard time in believing it's just a glitch in the system. I actually believe that perhaps Google has came to terms with filtering its news. I hope not. I mean, it's like they filter their stuff already, but I hope they haven't came to a special agreement to get their news to be published here in China, which would mean that they agreed to censor certain items and stuff. But what to watch in the second presidential debate? That's the first top story, which is going to be tonight, right? And tonight in American time, I guess. Well, they're going to talk about vulgar comments and advances he made towards women. And you know, that's kind of a unique thing. Advances towards women, and aside from Mr. Trump's libido, you know, we have to remember back to the time of Monica Lewinsky and that with Bill Clinton, and that was a big thing, right? And I was just thinking the other day. Well, think about all the other issues that were happening, and think about what happened with the housing thing and Bill Clinton and his wife. They had some problems back in the day about savings and loan scandals, and we don't hear any of that news coming up today. And I wonder if the whole Monica Lewinsky thing was a little bit of a distraction from issue. I mean, I could almost see Monica Lewinsky being scripted and that whole event being like, oh, this is a marital affair or something. To hide the big problems, we'll focus on some marital affair instead of like issues of greater importance. So right here in the GOP, in this article here from CNN and stuff, 99% of this article, actually, if not for 100% of this article, is about, well, the first 80% is about somebody said that Bill Clinton raped somebody. Is about nonsense. Is about people being people and what they do in their ways, but nothing about war, nothing about trade, nothing about serious states of governing millions of people and making choices for education and for health and for serious matters facing humanity. I see about affairs, a slight mention of WikiLeaks, private speeches to Walmart. Yeah, that's, you know what? We don't want to bring to light that Walmart, that Wall Street, I'm sorry, not Walmart, that Wall Street owns all these politicians, and isn't that kind of like an affair behind the people's backs? That, like, I mean, forget who's in bed with, how about who's in bed with Wall Street? We're not going to have any kind of talk about that, right? Yeah, I find it ironic that there's no, this whole article says nothing actually, and I imagine the debate will probably be a reflection of the article. Did you think it would be any different? Come on. Next, what we have here, we have suspects ready to shoot all the police. Gun violence. Come on, man. Gang members, police records, going to shoot all the police up. We're like people. I'm channeling George Harlan again. Of course we're gonna have violence and shooting each other at home and shooting everybody. I think there's an underlying problem somewhere. Maybe we shouldn't be at war for like 25 years and wonder why we're having such strange side effects. 2 killed by Palestinian gunmen in Jerusalem. Well, you'll notice that today there is no news about any of that settlement thing that was in the news yesterday and the day before about how they were going to get, Palestinians were going to get a bomb surprise, and how after giving $38 billion there was going to be a penalty for the 98 extra houses that Israel was building that could destroy the idea of having a two-state system in Palestine that was supposedly supported by the U.S. and agreed upon before they gave $38 billion. But now today, that's like Twitter, it's like Facebook, it's forgotten that nobody was angry. Come on, man. You're not angry after you give $38 billion. You're like, got some serious connections going on. And concentrate on this one guy that killed 2 people. Don't concentrate on this house that was blown up or something, or tore down, or living in a prison camp or whatever. Don't worry about it. Don't even count the money. $38 billion. Come on. What can be done with that kind of money? What else do we have? Matthew no longer a hurricane, just as dangerous, huh? Mm. Yep. Well, that's gone. Climate news. Climate change. Come on. Presidential debate. Why would we even think about climate change right now? Right? There's no big focus on that. And what do we have here? More Trump tape surfaced with crude sex remarks on Howard Stern. Well, I mean, I think that whole talk show is about crude sex remarks, right? Um, you know, it's meaningless. It's such a distraction about. I mean, every human being has their own different attitudes about sex and their own sexual activities, but those things should be put aside when you talk about like other things, like leading, supposedly being leaders of people and doing great things of leadership. Like, where are these big topics at? Howard Stern is not really a debatable topic, is it? What else do we have here? Police comb Eastern Germany hunt for terror plot suspect for the Syria man. Second day, a refugee. No mention of all the refugees and no mention of all the people that are displaced. No mention of years and years of war. Rather, we have a slight focus on what might be a single terrorist. He doesn't have his own army. He doesn't have his own fleet of ships. He's not dropping carpet bombs or shooting uranium bullets or something. No, those are the other kind of terrorists. The freedom terrorists, freedom bringers. Now we're going here to suggested for me. There's not a lot suggested for me from Google. I always go through the suggested for me section. Yes. Alphabet waves off, which is Google. They waved off a $112,000 AdWords bill of a Spanish 12-year-old. Well, I'll tell you what, man. If you ever try to use my business and you try to verify domains through Webmaster Tools and it's analytics and AdSense and Google Apps and mybusiness.google.com and verify that with your YouTube channel, man, it is such a mess. It is so fragmented. They really need to just unify their whole platform because it is a huge pain in the ass. Huge. And I'm not going to talk about the quality of their searches or anything like that. I don't want to be biased, but they need to unify their platform. Quataqua. Okay. Okay. And so Google. Look what happened to Yahoo. I remember back in the day when Google was just another tab on Netscape and Gopher. Remember Gopher? You guys remember that back in the day? Here we have Tesla. This is a second story, another story that's running it. And this is the only thing that I think that Tesla did really kind of bad is they had a 75 kilowatt battery pack that was capped at 60 kilowatt by software limiter. They stopped doing that. I wish that Tesla would have came out with the greater. Hold on a second here. We gotta talk to my. Now I believe that Elon Musk is generally the cleverest man. Well, not the cleverest man, but he is a hero of mine, and I'm unless he has some kind of evil plan. Do we need to play the Elon Musk theme song again?
I know that Elon Musk song.
I've got a special Elon.
I used to saw that movie on the.
I need to have a soundboard here where I could cue up a song, right? Like the guys on the
I
radio
know.
show. But here we go. This is the Elon Musk song.
A second.
Under the South African sun was born a boy so dear to a gorgeous model and an engineer. He was smart and hungry for more. By 10 he programmed a Commodore, but because of his brains and diminutive size, bullies beat him till he was hospitalized. Little boy thrown down a flight of stairs. He knows that life is hopelessly unfair. So he vows those bullies will remember his name. They'll all remember Elon Musk
when he gets revenge.
It's 1995, can you see? Elon's 24 and he's angry. He creates Zip2 with 28K, makes 307 million in 1400 days. In 1999, Musk swears he shall co-found a company named PayPal. He fights because he's CEO, doesn't want the company to be a part of Windows.
Yeah, and I don't want our show to be part of Windows either. All right.
So,
And
what is Elon
it's
Musk
one of my
doing?
boys, Bobby here. He loves the Elon Musk song, right?
It's Elon Musk.
All right. So, anyways,
Elon Musk.
let me talk about the Tesla situation here. I wish that Elon would have done the high volume, low cost cars first instead of the high cost, low volume cars. But I'm sure he has a fundamental plan that makes that much more logical. Who knows? But I mean, even the Model 3 is way expensive. Like I said the other day, $3,000 or $4,000 cars would be fine. But we need to have shared automobiles, really. They could be used by multiple people, I think, like shared bikes, I think. So what do we else have? Oh, world news. There we go. There we go. The second time we're plastering. You know, we could show the same story multiple times on Google News to create a sense of hate or distrust. It's a manufactured feeling that you might be feeling if you see repeatedly like an advertisement. You're associating. Okay, well, more Palestine, more Palestine. But if it was just a statistic thing, we would see the story about the settlements with 98 homes and how that was a big deal yesterday's news, and all of a sudden it's disappeared and it's been replaced. And it's one of those things that we see in the news. We see a good story about a company stock being high, and then the very next day you'll see a story, oh, that company is terrible stocks, and they'll give you two opposing, conflicting stories about one topic. And when you get so much of that every day, you stop really focusing on the importance of one thing over another. And over long-term effect, that actually causes you to be more blasé. More like, it's just another day in the news, no big deal when it comes to important stories. It's something to be aware of one of the many magics of media, right? So what do we have here? Yemen ex-president urges attack on Syria, Saudi Arabia after airstrike. We don't see anybody. I wonder if that'll be in the debate tonight. Will that be in the debate tonight? I don't know. You know. I don't know if that will be in the debate. Anything about Saudi Arabia, you know, we've seen here. What have we seen? So as I was saying here, actually you don't know it, but I just paused the video and I saw the first part of the video had a lot of bad sound problems. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Has something to do with the electronics. So I switched over and now I'm saving in an open format called OGV, and I'm doing on-the-fly encoding. So things should be a little bit more smooth, huh? Sorry about that. As I told you before, just like the first couple rockets with Elon Musk, it might get a little bit messy at first, right? Oh, I know this video is a little bit different size than the other video. I hope it's no big deal though. I'll test it out on you, right? So anyhow, what we have here is we have a situation that's not going to be discussed in the debate tonight about bombing Saudi Arabia as they bomb Yemen, and Yemen, of course, is like just one of the places that's going to be destroyed, and that is being destroyed, and it's how the military-industrial system rolls, But we will see a big deal about yesterday how Boeing just did like an $18.6 billion deal with Saudi Arabia, and I'm sure that Boeing has nothing to do with the military-industrial Oh, I'm sorry. They're one of the big daddies, aren't they? And those are probably Boeing bombs and Boeing planes, and woo, business is good. Let's talk about Trump's girlfriend. I hope this recording levels on this program is not too high, loud. There we go. The man who wanted to think about planning a bomb. We are focused on that man right now. Can you see that? That's like the second article. And that's how it works. Repetition, distraction. And Donald Trump, Florida, Nobel Prize. Jesus. They should give Obama another Nobel Prize, right? Wait, who's going to get the Nobel Prize for World War III? Nobel Prizes are like crack. They should just pass them away. What's the number one thing? Talking about conversation on the bus about some girls or something. Not Yemen that just got bombed and blown up in World War III right around the corner, and right underneath that they have a picture of people carrying coffins in Haiti. Not the military that did that. It wasn't Boeing that did Haiti. Not directly, right? And some happy, fat American people. And I'm getting too fat too. Right? Yeah. Just kind of a sad situation, right? So Colombia's president is awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, there's no peace deal. There's no peace with FARC. What do you get the Peace Prize for? What's up? Yeah, anyways. 15 years ago, U.S. government lawyers said that the torture that was being done would not leave long-lasting psychological harm. Don't worry. The people that were bombing and attacking and destroying, they will not have any PTSD. They will have the one-leg hop-along SD thing and like no arm catch. I mean, they not know PTSD. What's up with that? It's okay. But somebody said I'm living with a kind of depression. I'm not normal anymore after the torture. It's all right.
Yeah, it was my mom's
Monday is Columbus Day. That's fantastic. Columbus should get the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah. We're not your parents. The Centers of Disease Control say get your flu shot before the end of October. Well, is that really what we really need? I never had a flu shot in my entire life. Now, what's we have here? Haiti, people dead with no relief in sight. 470. That's like nothing. That's like a bomb a day. We do 470, don't we? What is that? Are we really concerned about those people? Are we really concerned about those people? New York Times is blocking me in this paywall here about a Turkish car bomb. Funny, man. We don't We don't see any news about that whole little thing that happened about Turkish downing a Russian jet. Turkish, Turkish, what they're doing to the Kurds right now. Is Syria going on? Man, Turkish loves being World War III. And these are just convenient stories that are not talked about. It was like when Turkey let the U.S. use their Turkish base to attack Iraq in the, I don't know, what was that game called? That was like the Operation Desert Fund or something. And they said if you give us $28 billion, we'll let you use our country as a base. Nobody talks about that stuff anymore. Short-term living. Short-term. It was a Twitter thought. Facebook post. Here today, gone tomorrow. Russia says French draft UN Syria resolution protected militants. Yes. And that's like a 2-minute paragraph, 1-minute paragraph. We get a lot of, there's a lot of Russian hate going on. They're getting the buildup now. It will not be direct confrontational news saying, hey, we're in danger for World War III. Remember, like I said the other day, if there's a direct news, if there's some great danger of World War III, too many people would stand up and oppose it. So they're turning the tide. Hackers in Russia, hacking Hillary, those bad people, and supporting that Julian Assange, and he's in with the Russians and everybody and the French, and we'll vilify Russia a little bit before we get in World War III because we have to get those drums going, right? U.S. police seek help on a racially motivated attack on a Muslim. Somebody took off a hijab from a lady in UK. Come on, there's so much nationalism going on in UK right now. And I don't know what kind of nationalism, because Europe is the imperialist heaven England, where the sun never set on the empires until the empire died, as it seems like the American empire is dying. And all those people from all around the world that Europe called her, what they call them, their little destitute lands of fiefdom. A little fiefs. They're now foreigners, and they want to make lists of who the foreigners are. How hypocritical. A century later, almost, right? Next. Taliban explosive becoming more powerful. Afghan soldiers are paying the price. Well, I wonder if he's got PTSD, huh? Wow. Oh, never-ending war, huh? 15 years. Good job. That's awesome. I'll bet you the person that blew off his legs, they really got a whole bunch of PTSD, huh? Forget about those people in those countries. Think about all the people coming home that got PTSD from blowing the Trump word out of these poor people. Not so poor as the soldiers that come home with PTSD, though. And of course, the people that are profiting off of it, they don't have any PTSD. No PTSD for Boeing, right? And what else do we have here? Moroccan election overall fair, but turnout low. Wow, is Morocco still a place on the face of this earth? Do we know anything about Morocco at all? Hello, is that a country? Yeah, it's not on the Kardashians. What the fuck? Don't kill the ISIS leader, Baghdadi. Capture him. Yeah. They made him. I mean, kill him. Of course you don't want to kill him. You want to use his face. But this is a really unique article. I read this here. It's what's really funny is when they say, you don't want to kill him because it will not damage him. They say Here, the case of Ernesto Che Guevara is instructive. While the CIA helped the Bolivian government track him down and kill him almost 50 years later, the mass murdering psychopath has become a symbol for social justice and an idol for college youth worldwide. Compare his case with some other people, video of former Iraqi President Saddam Hussein disheveled and dragged from his spider hole was an image that burst the era of the Iraqi leader. While bin Laden famously said that everyone loves the strong horse, Saddam Hussein's captures showed him to have little more than a carnival pony. Wow, this is really direct, like in-your-face propaganda, huh? Jeez. I mean, what would the headline be if they if they put Clinton in like a foxhole and killed him, or one of the American leaders? I mean, these guys, we don't know who killed Martin Luther King. I'll bet you that they're saying the same thing, or they said the same thing about who killed him. Or I didn't see any stories, articles like this. But America, wow, the freedom to go to other countries and just murder their elected leaders and all that other stuff. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy sad, right? Shotguns and tear gas fired at Kashmiri protest. Pakistan and India, stir it up. Stir it up. We need some little sidetracked military pieces like this to keep that momentum going, right? And what else do we have here? The military industrial complex momentum, right? Turkey says 38 Islamic State militants killed in northern Syria, right? Turkey, blind eye, right? We turn a blind eye. Turkey is America's ally against Russia and the Kurds. And we know what happened to the Kurds at the end of the Iraq war. And just terrible, terrible thing. Terrible thing. Does anybody even know anything about that? Nobody knows, right?
4 times J.
Moscow. U.S. hacking charges failed to impress Russians. They just think we hate them. Well, I have a great story here. But I don't know if the story was, if you could hear the sound on the audio, because I didn't test the audio yet on this new program I switched to. I should show you that here. Putin speech. Gosh. I'll put this in. I have this great little thing here about from a meeting that I found on Facebook. And I think this is a video that I saw. I know. I saw this video here. I would suggest if you haven't heard this speech from Putin, and there's a good chance you've maybe never ever heard him talk before. You just read secondhand, third-hand knowledge, and I'm not supporting Putin by any means. And I do know a guy, one of my friends, he did judo with Putin, and he beat him, I guess. A great judo. One of my friends is great at judo. But you should take a look at his speech here. I saw it on Facebook actually, and But if you take a look on, actually, I've got it on my Facebook page here. If I could remember where it's at here, check this out. It's so fantastic. I'm going to make a special stop here. I'm going to show you. This is great here. Putin's running to the road. Said, so no matter what we said to our American partners to curb the production of weaponry, they refused to cooperate with us. They rejected our offers and continued to do their own thing. Now, I'm not gonna do this with this whole speech, but man, it's pretty. I mean, like I said, I am not a supporter of Putin. But that speech, I mean, even a broken clock, you gotta listen to this guy's speech. The military-industrial complex is a pretty powerful, has a lot of swing, and it's doing some things that are not in the best interest.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to go to World War III. I don't think Putin wants to go to World War III either. But look at how fast people are pushing, right? So here we are. It's just as we said in yesterday's news. We'll see continued degradation and vilification of Russia, and connecting with hacking charges, and remember, accusations, right? And no real proofs about that, leading up into support to have all-out proxy war and all-out. Well, right now there's all-out proxy war, all-out war for the industrials to get rich, having World War III. Can't get there fast enough, can we? Russia's missile development in Kaliningrad ups the stakes in NATO. Wow. And we don't see anything about mentioning, it's funny because we're seeing all these sidetracked articles that are not mentioning anything about stop bombing in Serbia. We're not seeing I'm sorry, not Syria. We're not seeing any kind of relation to Syria right now. This is just old school vilification, right? Old school vilification, right? So we see some missiles and stuff like that. Not as great as American missile system, right? But it's so old school. Does anybody ever remember the Cold War? Are we doing this again? Now what else do we have here? Oh yes, we're in. They want the party to stand by Trump, right? It's a football. It's a replacement for NFL, right? 9 hours until the debate. 9 hours until the debate, right? And now this is a surprising headline in mainstream news. We will see maybe 1 in 100 headlines that says many voters wondered if we'd be better off with the presidential do-over for a third party. Look at this. There's actual dissent in mainstream media. Now, if you read the story where they actually say that nobody's happy with any of the candidates, this is like 1 in 1,000 stories on Google News from the Kansas City Star. This story will be blown over, and it'll be so statistically small that it has no effect. So for all those people out there to talk about tin full of hats, well, look at the amount of news and amount of coverage of each topic in the newspaper. This will not be represented more than one story. And this guy here, opposing Trump. They're not opposing Saudi Arabia bombing Yemen, or they're not opposing $38 billion being given to Israel, or any of the other many topics. They don't like him talking about girls. They're got serious, more higher moral ground. Sadly, we see is one of the stories Amber Alert for a girl that's missing, and that's pretty sad. I really hope they find her. And you know what? The other day we saw another little baby that was killed, and every day we will see children that are killed in the newspapers, because that is great for evoking sympathy. And And like I said, I sincerely hope that they find this little girl. But when you see these stories like this, and you see stories about other things, this is, you got to have your sympathy in the game. You got to have your suspense in the game to feel like you've got something from the news. This is like bread with dinner. They're using these tragedies here is like spice, for ratings and for to continue your persuasion of to continue the momentum. It's sad. Manufacturing consent is a good thing to check out if you haven't checked that out before. All right. What do we got here? Oh yes, the NSA mystery not solved with arrest. I really like this one here, this article here, because directly within this article from NBC News, we don't talk about what the NSA is doing, and we don't talk about anything like that. Well, WikiLeaks talks about that, and I like to talk about it. Snowden did a great job talking about it. But you see here, one of my favorite sentences from the story, it says, "You cannot have too much Big Brother," a current intelligence official said, without noting the irony that he was speaking about an agency criticizing for snooping on an innocent man. So you cannot have too much Big Brother. Of course not. Of course not. It's like Coca-Cola and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton would say, we gotta, or whatever, like the politician of the minute will say that, right? Of course. Beat the drums. As college admissions begin, important advice for high school seniors. Yeah, you're not going to have a job. You need to hedge your bets. School's going to be too expensive. Check out both colleges. Don't forget about community colleges. Don't focus too much on majors. Yeah, pretty much it's like buying a new phone, isn't it? Consume. I think we need to have free education, number one. And I think that children, well, I'm not doing it. It's not my job. I'm not going to turn this into that. I'll say what I think. I'm just saying what it is. Look at the cost of college education right now. Look at the still stagnated economy that people are living in from a stasis of technological evolution and localized production and other technologies that are being step by step. What do you say? You remember I've been out of the U.S. for so many years. My English is not always the best but we're giving advances at a very slow incremental pace instead of quick advances, which would provide more jobs. Like I mentioned in the last show, if you heard it through the terrible audio, there's great motivation to keep people from having localized production. There's a lot of money that would be lost, and if production became localized. Can you imagine all the middlemen? I mean, because they do have a monopoly. I do live in China, and I'm not, like I said, if you missed it the other day, I'm a teacher here for many years and stuff like that. But there's other people that come over here as corporate, like slavers, like they come over here and doing trade and doing things what the average person doesn't have access to, and they don't even have that in their career path. And they work for companies that have a monopoly on those kind of things. And if you had localized production, they would lose their monopoly. They would lose their business. So why not just have a service-oriented economy where you stand in line at McDonald's and you fight toward the bottom, right? So poor students, but Elon Musk is changing that, right? Go Elon. We need you sooner than ever, right? It's a tough future for the high schoolers right now. It's a tough future for everybody right now. Man with knife killed by police. Yeah, I don't know about this whole thing, man. Is this the only technology we got, is to kill everybody in the U.S.? Everybody's getting shot right and left. We don't have any non-lethal, like even the animals that escape from the zoo, they get shot with a tranquilizer dart. Can't we figure that out? A lot of people got mental health, but can we? If you got to shoot them, can't you shoot them in the leg? I mean, how terrible! We got to shoot somebody. I mean, we can't use like those, like those the guns with the nets on it, like in Total Recall or something. And 2000, all that millions and billions of dollars that the military-industrial complex has, and the only way we know how to do is to kill. Gandhi said, and Gandhi was a little bit racist, I hear. He said, if you have to use control to keep control, you'd never had control to begin with. Or something. Use force to keep control. Something like that. I don't know, but true. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move into business news. We cannot read the New York Times this block, but it says, as China, Alibaba, Amlin partners. Ooh. Yeah, something like Steven Spielberg is becoming partners with China. Yeah, that's so nasty. Look at the rise of the YouTube stars. Look at mainstream media being scared of independent publishing. Look at what's happening on YouTube. Look at Netflix. China is trying to invest in everything outside of China right now because let me tell you, living in China, the economy is terrible here and the bubble is about to break. So, EU duties on Chinese steel are unfair? Come on. Yeah, I live in China for a long time, and it is so hard to buy anything from another country. To import it here, wow, it's such a one-sided trade thing. You guys buy everything from China outside of China. I try to get some wheels for my bicycle. It's like so hard. Yeah. But that's a huge topic. China says the urgent need for global cooperation. Yes. Slow down a global trade and investment. You know what we're talking about? Localized production. Yeah, slow down a global trade is not a bad thing, actually. It's a bad thing for the big bosses that are losing money. It's a bad thing for the people that want to keep the workers divided and all that stuff. WTO was not about like world trade, or that wasn't about unifying the workers and like making it easy for you to go to other countries. Yeah, I mean, we still have passports. Remember I said check out the King of New York about the passport speech there. The workers still got the passport, the bosses don't. Corporations, they have homes in every country, a foot everywhere. They could go anywhere with ease and exploit everybody. Workers are stuck with the scraps, right? We don't need globalized. We need to let technology reign. We need to let our high tech allow us to create. We could create the same things within every country. Why do we need so bad that we need to ship it from 5,000 miles away? I mean, some things we should have that option, but other things, come on, man. It's not necessary. Third party alternative to Trump, Clinton lose support as electioneers. Lose support, no shit. I'm sorry. Did it ever have support? I mean, why not like 10 parties? I mean, like I said, I'm amazed that that brothers or a husband, wife, father, son, if you're not like in that party of like, what did George Carlson? It's a small party and you're not invited. What are you talking about? Technology. How are you going to technology news? See what Google's got for technology for us. Why LIGL's discovery of gravitational waves was passed over for the Nobel Prize. Yeah, that actually, you know what? I remember reading about this, and when they proved the gravitation waves existed. This here is a not very good beer, but this channel isn't about that right now. I remember when they proved it, confirmed Einstein's prediction of gravitational waves. That seems pretty cool to me. Wow. I could understand that. This whole Nobel Prize about some kind of different states of matter is something that I really haven't wrapped my head around yet. I haven't had time to look into. But Nobel, kill everybody, gives out peace prizes because he's got PTSD. I mean, he didn't kill everybody. He just invented dynamite.
Yeah.
Right. Boeing challenges Musk, Bezos to Mars off, while SpaceX investigates destroyed rocket. Look at this negative. I mean, this isn't that negative. But you will always see negative news about SpaceX, not negative news about Blue Origins. But you will see negative news. I think Blue Origin. I think they're going to team up with Boeing. They're a little bit like Boeing's bitch, it seems like. But Boeing says that they're going to take. It says Jeff Bezos isn't going to be outdone, and they talk about the sabotage idea, which I talked about right when it happened. I talked about before it happened. I said that there's clearly going to be some sabotage of rockets going on, and I know that you didn't hear. If you want to listen to me say that, that was over on my other blog, Deep Thought Cycle. Check that out. I said this before this even happened, but rocket accidents. It hasn't been proven. We talked about that yesterday. But I can tell you one thing though, that Boeing, man, they're huge in the military industrial complex. And if they don't assassinate Elon Musk, if there is no secrets to be spilled about space, which who's to say? And who's to say they don't even have a base already on Mars? So beating SpaceX to Mars probably wouldn't be that hard since you're maybe already there. Right? NASA's Hubble telescope spots stars spitting flaming cannonballs into space. Awesome. I remember when they had a debate about decommissioning it or something. So stars spitting out fireballs. There's so much we don't know about the universe, my friends. We're too busy focused on what are we focused on? Donald Trump talking about women on a bus with some other guys. I don't even care about that kind of thing. I care about this. Cannonballs being fired into space from stars. That's awesome. Archaeologists. What do we have in archaeology news? Well, I don't know how we got mixed up here. Tin Lizzie. Yeah, talk about comparing cars to this. And I don't get this article. I read this article. This says that the Maserati has said that Tesla is similar to the low quality old BMWs and Mercedes of the 1970s. I'm sorry, man. How do you even get that? These guys are not even on the same level as Elon Musk. Elon Musk isn't even trying to make a business to be a successful, competitive. Competitive entrepreneur. He's an idealist, and he's doing what he said. He's disrupting the industry, and he's causing Maserati to make electric cars, and he's causing BMW, and he's causing all of industry to make those giant jumps, not those tiny pieces of progress what big oil wants you to make, but he's causing industry to cause us to make great leaps forward, which is awesome, which is what gives hopes for students in school. We need more people like that, less big oil companies. What else do we have here? German council calls for a ban on, let's see here, what do we have here? Calls for a ban on internal combustion cars by 2030. Oh, excuse me a sec. I gotta. Hey, Bobby. Go check on him. Make sure he's doing his work.
I know he is watching on YouTube.
Okay. All right.
Look.
Okay. So what do we have here? Sorry about that. A ban on internal combustion cars by 2030. How do you feel about that? Well, I can tell you one thing. That's great. and actually, Holland did that already, right? And I'm so happy Germany's following them. And my biggest question is why is this only happening by 2030? I'm a cyclist. I like to ride my bike a lot every day, and like about 400 kilometers a week. And I really enjoy.
What?
Sorry about that. I had paused my video. I had my dog underneath there. But what I want to know is why not have this done by 2020 instead of 2030? Because like I ride my bike about 450 kilometers a week, 400 kilometers. I like to ride my bike a lot, and this could be done today. I mean, this could be done fast. We don't need to wait another 20 years, man. No, that's what I'd say. I mean, I like my kids to have clean air, and trust me, in China, man, you could see the effects of bad pollution. Um, why did Yahoo allow the government to scan emails? Why did you think that they're not scanning your emails? Come on, haven't you ever heard of Project Echelon? That's old news from the NSA, right? The NSA could do that. It's all good. They're allowed, they know everything what you think, and then they scan that and put on your tinfoil hat because develop psychological profiling. And it's great for, if you ever worked in market research. Wow. Imagine the keywords needed to manipulate news and to make contestants win debates. Right? Why not scan the news? Why not scan your email? Right? You don't know that? Tesla's critics are ignoring a crucial strength of its business. We are seeing in the past couple of days more favorable news about Tesla than I've seen in the last years. Now I'm still going to say that it's like 5% of the articles are positive. Big oil is really trying to make Tesla look pretty bad, right? But you have the Chevy Volt here, and you have the Tesla Model 3. I'd say buy the Model 3 because fundamentally, it's for a man that wants to change the world. Unless he's got a secret, he's not telling us. Maybe he's got some secret corporate ideal that we don't know. But I believe Elon Musk is the real deal. The Thomas Edison and Tesla put together with Howard Hughes in the mix, and he's a great mankind. He's a great man of our times. He's absolutely phenomenal. I'm so happy. I wish that he would have came along when I was younger. I wish I could be my kid's age, and I'd love to go work with him. He's super awesome. That's just my opinion, though. Facebook is talking to the White House about giving you free internet. Well, I don't understand. You can't give free internet and free education. I mean, why does Facebook got to do it? How come we could have like millions and billions of dollars for satellite radio and satellite uplinks for the industrial war machine, military industrial complex, and we could give them great networks to work in the desert and spend billions and billions of dollars, and we can have free internet like for students that are not in war? Why not give the students laptops like you give the soldiers laptops? Why not give them books like you give them guns? I don't know, man. Why does Facebook got to be the one? Why is it? Isn't that something like I don't know, like there's pipes in the street that bring water, and is that something that should be given to people? It's like infrastructure of information. Archaeologists virtually recreate the house of Caecilius Lucundus in Pompeii. I don't know if I talked about this yesterday. I forgot because it was pretty late last night, but this is a pretty cool animation that they have here. If you get a chance to see this animation from this house in Pompeii, and it was fantastically recreated. They spent a lot of time to carefully recreate the actual frescoes and the pictures that were found on the walls, and they go into detail about different pieces of history, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I'd recommend you check it out if you get the opportunity. Yeah, I have to connect my VPN, because in China there's not any real free internet, so we have a hard time using stuff like what do you say, like Vimeo and YouTube and stuff. And
I'm done reading the news.
actually, hold on a second here. Okay, I got my VPN going here. So this is a great animation if you get a chance to check it out. Ah. Awesome. I really enjoyed that. And what's really pretty cool is, if you don't know it, there's a lot of Pompeii and there's a lot of things that have not been unearthed yet. So for the budding archaeologists in you, you could check those out. There's a lot of things that have yet to be revealed. So it's pretty intriguing, I think. Always Pompeian. Also, here's some archaeological news from archaeologists mapped a Roman raid on a Scottish hill fort. Wow, I never heard of the Scottish people having a run-in with the Roman people, but here you have a fort here, and they've dug up some artifacts here, some artifacts of war from the old military-industrial. When we study the military-industrial complex in his terms of history, it's sad that all we see are these pieces of warfare from the previous civilizations, right? And it's sad that we haven't changed that much, sadly, right? Musket balls, World War II mortar rounds, you know, pretty sad that we are a warlike people, right? And interesting. Alberta archaeologists unearthed ancient feasted head smashed in buffalo jump. Now, I don't know if I also said this the other day or not. I'm going to repeat this story again, though. This is pretty interesting. They actually created a bake oven to bake their things, and something happened, and they never showed up to get their finished food out. So it's full of food, and the archaeologists said they're going to be spending a lot of time with a toothpick and a vacuum cleaner to be going through their old feast in Canada. And now we're getting to entertainment. Entertainment section. Schwarzenegger said he can't support Trump. How is it that he got to be governor of a state that is as large as a GDP or as large as many countries? Was he the best qualified, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to be the governor? I mean, wow, politics and popularity, and that's just sad. Sad. I can't believe. I mean, him being governor is like fits the bill, right? I mean, how can like the presidents we have? It's amazing, right? And of course, entertainment. Kim Kardashian weekend review. Everything that's happened with the family since her horrific Paris robbery. Do you see any mainstream media talking about why does she have $4 billion on, or $4 million ring, and $11 million in jewelry, and there's a lot of other pretty girls in the world that don't have $11 million. And we have people being bombed to death, and 450 people in Haiti, and it's just ridiculous. And he says he plans on getting her new jewelry, and this diamond might just be bigger. Oh man. She wants another ring, and eventually she will just try to be careful on how she displays it. How sickening the society and the culture that we're living in 2016, that there could be such a concentration of wealth in the hands of such a small people, while many other people in the world have such a hard time in life. It's really, really, really saddening that this is happening, I think. Don't you think so? I think it is. I think it's a sad thing. Misplaced value. Makes me cry for humanity. What else do we have here? New discoveries? Local researchers received a $24 million grant. Now, that's awesome. But there's always a but. They will hope for things like research could lead to improvements in crop management and sustainability and to help advances in cancer prevention and wound care. Crop management, well, it means they're going to be funding bio farming, like our genetic farming, Monsanto and stuff, and advances in cancer prevention. That's great. Start with big oil, right? And wound care. Well, wound care. Maybe we gotta. How about stop wars? And then we won't have so many wounds to care for. I don't know. Researchers push Moore's law with the 1 nanometer transistor gate. Awesome. Moore's law, it never ever ends. And people just have predicted that we've reached a plateau in Moore's law, and here we are. And you know that technology, they will be able to give you that technology as soon as they can give you that technology. But you will not get that technology as soon as they can give it to you, unless somebody like Elon Musk says, hey, we have the technology, let's make this happen, because other corporations, they're going to make you pay, like my phone. They're going to make you update a new phone and a new phone and a new phone, and they're just going to make the next one a little bit better and a little bit better. And with their design obsolescence, they will never give you the technology to really make your life easier. All right? Sadly. So, in an ideal world, maybe on Mars, right, when Elon Musk brings us there, we will have access to this kind of technology. But that will set us free, and we're not supposed to be free yet. And researchers are proposing a new unified PTSD theory. Wow! And they want to have other people test it. I have an idea. I have a theory about PTSD. If you go over to some other place and you blow off a lot of people's legs and kill their children and do things a little bit evil,
Hey, Dad,
you're going to come home and you're not going to feel very good about it. And if you don't want to not feel good about it, don't go do all those things like, little bunny foo-foo, I don't want to see you. Scooping up the field mice and bomb to the head, or I'm going to give you PTSD. And like all the little bunny foo-foos out there, all those field mice, man, let me tell you, poof, you got PTSD. And it's mainstream media synthesizes so much. I mean, look at this culture we have here. Do we have any idea why we're at war for more than 20 years? And why we have to have a situation where people have PTSD and hop around with one legs to begin with? We got a whole system for that now. That's not even important. We just like oh, there's blood coming out of my arm. Well, don't worry. We'll come up with a theory how to wipe it up off the floor when it drops onto the floor. That's her. Not it's coming out of my arm because I got a big cut in my arm. Sorry. Archaeology news. Oh, we did archaeology news again. A little bit more archaeology news. That's great. I've got two of them. Yeah, the 3D modeling that we talked about. Ah, look at that. 3D printing. There's a lot of forces at work to not let 3D printing be as big as it can be. That would destroy manufacturing. The current stage of the few people that have monopolies on manufacturing to be able to localize production. So, but here's a 3D printed version of the winged bull of Nimrod, destroyed by ISIS. And yeah, that's too bad. ISIS was, not only did we create ISIS, we destroyed thousands of years of history. Good job, military-industrial complex. And what do we have here? Glastonbury Abbey, the archaeological story. A lot of people have been digging there since 1904. What I really got from this story when I read it is how little that they documented it when they first started digging there, right? They're searching for the grave of Arthur and Guinevere, right, and stuff like that. But they didn't document their diggings very well. And then what do we have here? We have the evil-eyed dancer who brought down a beauty-obsessed king. This is pretty interesting. This is about one of the kings in Germany and how he had 15 or so pictures, I can't remember how many, in his palace of girls, women that he thought was beautiful. And this is a story of some Irish immigrant that was traveling around the world, and it's extravagant. It's extravagant. So, sorry about that. We have this girl here that had an interesting life, very romantic and nomadic, and you can read about it there. A beauty-obsessed king. It was the yesterday version of Donald Trump, maybe. Britain's view of history is dangerous, says a former museum director. Well, I wonder how many museum directors would say the same thing. How much history is being overlooked? And, for example, that they talk about, they're not taught so much that Germany helped defeat Napoleon in this situation. But I find that in modern day, there's so many stories in history that are misrepeated, and like a lot of people don't realize that Russia really did much to win the Second World War. They lost the most troops, and how America went late to the First World War. A lot of people don't really realize that stuff. And that's just short last 100-year history. We talk about the hundreds of years, thousands of years. We know so little, sadly. So I think that's a good article. We should be more scientific about reporting history and historic details, right? 10 reasons why CIOs should consider open source software. Well, a lot of good reasons for open source, right? Here's 10 good reasons. I could tell you, though, if you're doing screencasts like I am here, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to get the right recording stuff going. But I think I got it now. I think I can. Right? But you have to be careful about open source software, too. You have to be careful. Next, what do we have here? Anything? The many reasons behind NFL ratings decline. Wow. Well, that's great. I mean, maybe people have to work so much because they're slaves in the U.S. they don't got time to watch NFL. Maybe people are getting bored. I mean, there's so much you can do than watch football. This teenager was walking for hours to and from work, and police stop changed his life. Cool. That's really cool. They gave this guy a bike. He was walking late at night from a job he had at 18. And he walked to his mom's house like 7 miles away or something. It took him 2 hours or something to walk there. And he did it at 3 in the morning after there's no buses to go. And he was working and his car broke down. What amazes me is, because I've been out of the U.S. for so long, is so much. It's the idea that people should have cars at 16, and like I had cars when I was 16, and because I left the U.S. when I was 19. And it's just really, I grew up with that idea living in the U.S. and I thought, yeah, it's, you could buy a car, sure. But after leaving the U.S. and being outside of the U.S. and going to other countries for so many years and realizing, wow, that's like a luxury, man. Like kids having cars, that's unbelievable. I mean, that they could afford such a luxurious item, and they should focus on studies and stuff. I look at this picture though, and they gave him a giant bicycle for $500 and some other things for $600. Wow, you should have got something else, not a giant. Should have got a Shirley, man, or another great handmade bike. They should have asked somebody, but not give him a giant. Poor kid have to ride that bike. But that's nice that they give him that bike. Now we get the Reddit news. What we got in Reddit? Well, what do we have? We have Comcast. I look at the front page of Reddit, see if there's nobody's talking about World War I or World War III on the front page or anything of importance. They say Comcast, which is one of the huge media conglomerates in the U.S. They were blocking Yes on 97 ads, and Yes on 97 is a measure in Oregon that would tax corporations 2.5% that make $25 million per year. So so they were caught blocking advertisements to tax corporations. Well, that happens every day. You just don't get caught on Reddit about it. Russia suspending and withdrawing from U.S. nuclear agreements, including reduction of weapons-grade plutonium. Yeah, this is the news that was really big 2 days ago, and now we're in a process of quietness where we're going to villainize Russia, and we're not going to talk about those things. We have to make them into a demon first, and then we're going to start those things again. It's much more dangerous than the Cold War right now, I think. This is like the Cuban Missile Crisis happening right now, if not even worse. I think this is worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis. First-person view of a mountain biker going down one of the hardest mountain bikes hills. And you know what? I am a cyclist, and I believe that this is not a good thing. I believe that what's happening with these Red Bull Monster events and what's happening with ultimate fighting is putting a lot of people's lives in danger unnecessary. It's not necessary to put these kids' lives in danger. And of course they're going for adrenaline, but when you see them going completely down the sides of mountains, this looks pretty fast. But there are some serious mountains. This doesn't even look as dangerous as the other mountains which I've seen. And this does look pretty fast. Yeah, pretty crazy as we're watching this here. But there are some seriously dangerous rides what they do in the Red Bull events, and people get hurt in them, and it's just completely unnecessary. When you risk your life, sign up, go to Mars, do something for humanity. Don't risk your life needlessly like this. I think that there should be a law to protect people from that. I think. Man posing as delivery person in San Francisco hides resume in a box of donuts. He posed as a delivery man and he gave out his resume in a box of donuts. That's creative. Awesome. It's too bad it's so hard to get a job lately. What else do we have here? Sierra Nevada Mountains painting from 1868. It's kind of beautiful and read it. And anything else? As we look here at Facebook. What is in the Facebook realm of short attention span theater since the media extravaganza debate? Make America white again. American wasn't white before. And what else do we have here? We have let's see here. Let me see what else we got. So we see so much internal focus on racism in America that people are not really focusing on what's going on outside of America. They talk about the worst part about Trump. There's all these memes, and all these distractors, and people are really flashing these memes like it's a football game. Like we don't talk about anything about any of these details. It's pretty sad. And I see these things here, and there's just no dominant discourse about the actuality of what's happening in today's international arena, which is why I like to create this channel here, because I think that somebody needs to take a look at the facts. All we have to do is stand up and their little game is over. That's a great meme. That's great. And now there's absolutely not any kind of never before has a generation so diligently documented themselves accomplishing so little. That's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. And fortunately, fortunately, we have the internet to bring us together. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I hear one of my babies in the back crying here. But anyways, see, the thing about Facebook is like short attention span theory. It's here today and gone tomorrow. And but this story is great, and we covered that. So there's some great things that could be found. So share the news, spread the news, And what else do we have? Anything here? Oh, somebody they turned a school bus into a home. I think I read about that, right? So check out that warning from Putin. Knowledge is power. And like they say on Reading Rainbow, the more you read, the more you know, right? I'll see you guys later on. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another version of New Cipher, and I'll try to get the audio tweaks worked out a little bit. And also, I'll try to get the Chinese headlines going for all you Chinese people, all the expats out there that have been sending me messages. Those headlines will be coming soon. See you later. Bye-bye.